Right now, Jim, you may just sit where you are. Right now, we have Jim Moore, from CEO of the Washington Institute, to share with us a topic called "A Broken World Needs Creative Leadership."
It is truly a great honor to be with you today at this critical, historic crossroads. Make no mistake, we are undergoing a seminal moment in the continuum of history in which creative leadership is sorely needed and has never been more critical. On Friday, this past Friday, we remembered the 81st anniversary of D-Day, for which the United States is justifiably proud. As German Chancellor Merz said the day before in the Oval Office, in the long run, Mr. President Trump, this was the liberation of my country from a Nazi dictator. In the largest amphibious invasion in history, nearly 160,000 Allied troops came together and landed on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. More than 4,400 of them died in the assault. "We know what we owe you," the Chancellor said. "This is the reason why I am saying that America is again in a very strong position to do something about war, this war in Ukraine, and indeed ending the war." It was a powerful message from a German leader, but I'm afraid that for now, the president was tone deaf. America is at a critical crossroads. What is our future as leaders and what our past has taught us? We as a human family are dealing with serious geopolitical realities and conflicts, unprecedented technological breakthroughs, and a changing of the guard. The elevation of His Holiness Pope Leo XIV has been a sign of hope to Christians and non-Christians alike in the quest for each of us to be engaged in our world and in the challenges we face. I was struck by how a certain incident not long ago put all of this in perspective. It was on March 18th of this year that U.S. astronauts Suni Williams and Barry Wilmore returned from outer space. What had been planned as an 8-day trip to the International Space Station had been stretched to 286 days due to technical issues of thruster malfunctions and helium leaks. Having served as chairman of the board of the National Air and Space Museum at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., I was especially riveted by the situation, given how it would all turn out. Well, there were 3 remarkable moments in this mission. The first was the reality that 2 middle-aged individuals, a man 62 years old and a woman 59, who had been trained for years on the practicalities and mysteries of outer space, accepted their fate with grace and with perseverance. Their unexpected time in space was now spent on scientific research, conducting over 150 experiments, contributing to studies on human physiology, fluid dynamics, and microbial gene sequencing. During this period, Williams spent time walking in space for a total of 62 hours and 6 minutes, breaking all records for a woman astronaut. Never did they show any outward frustration of being kept in space more than 36 times longer than had been intended, or being away from their families. The second extraordinary moment came when we learned who was retrieving them from space. One was NASA astronaut Nick Hague, and the other one was Russian cosmonaut Alexander Korbanov. These 2 men had had their own experiences in space over the years, and were now going to help their own fellow space explorers return to Mother Earth. Think of it. Both men came from countries that had been bitter adversaries at different times in their history, but had come together to escort Americans home. Over time, we had seen individuals from the Soviet Union, Japan, Canada, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Brazil, Israel, and Mexico joined the United States in space travel as well. Finally, the third great revelation had been experienced a number of times before in space, and that was the sight of planet Earth in all of its glory, hung in the vast darkness of space. From orbit, there was no discernible borders, and the planet appears as a unified whole, emphasizing our shared humanity. That perspective instinctively fosters a profound sense of responsibility to safeguard our world and take nothing for granted. The profound impact that the astronauts felt was what scientists have referred to as the overview effect, a phenomenon that creates a human sense of intimate interconnectedness and a renewed commitment to protecting our planet. The experience is staggering, inexplicable, daunting. Notwithstanding God's promised land beyond our earth, in which we all aspire, the world is our only home. 71% of it is covered by water, less than 3% of it by fresh water and not ocean. Only 25% of our earth is sustainable for human occupation. We do not come together as often as we should to focus on the blessings of our land as we do at this incredible undertaking by consulates today. We fail to often recognize that we are only temporary shepherds of this planet. We show our weakness in the wars and conflicts that we hold, the plague of global immigration and the uncontrolled quest for a better life gnaws at our human consciousness. In particular, the Washington Institute has been immersed by establishing an ethical platform for Ukraine in the aftermath of the war with Russia after that country's brutal invasion now well over 3 years. We are working with the government and universities across the country, particularly Concordia University in Kyiv, to provide a foundation that targets business, government, the military, and academia. We shape our world by challenging our circumstances, understanding our neighbor's plight, and resolving to make our world a better future. Our world is far too small and fragile to believe that what affects one country on one side of the planet will not have an impact on the other. The Roman Catholic Church in this Jubilee year has selected as its pope a priest of the Augustinian order, an order of priests that focus on unity, harmony, friendship, charity, and service in our world. It does not take nearly as much as it gives. I would suggest that all of us should be Augustinians no matter what our religious backgrounds, Christian or non-Christian alike. Each of us needs to create our individual legacy. Let us not take for granted our heritages, the world we have inherited, or the call to order that can make a decided difference. We truly have within our power the ability to make a difference in what Pope Leo XIV refers to as building bridges and being a dialogue with love. Thank you.
Thank you.